Da 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 ba da 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 da. Dan 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 ba da 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 da. Da 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 da. So, we're playing Spyro for obvious reasons. In case you live under a rock, this game's and the other two are getting remastered.
Okay, rolling.
All right, Spyro 1. It's a thing. It's a good game. Compared to the other two games, it's not as good, right? In certain aspects. Level design is amazing. Music is amazing. The graphics could be better, and they did really improve upon that in the second two games. Controls... Look. They were working with a very small development team here for Spyro 1. The controls are pretty good for what they are. And they really do fix them up in Spyro 2 and then 3. 3 is pretty much the same. They don't really change much in Spyro 3. Did I get all the gems in here? They can go down this way. There's the balloonist, right? I need to free a bajillion dragons before he'll let me. Marco sent you here. Come back to see me when you've rescued 10 dragons. That's nothing. That's barely anything. We're gonna 100% this shiznit, all right? Because that's the only way to play Spyro is if you're gonna 100% it, all right? None of this half-assed, leaving gems behind. All eggs will be found, even though they don't really do anything in the game, I don't think.
Oh, Flash, do that again.
The Artisans boss is through a portal in the dragon mouth.
Toasty. The enemies in that world they're always hard. I could play this game a million times and the enemies in Toasty will always kill me. In some way. Whether it's me trying to avoid them and then falling off the edge, or just getting hit by the old men with canes a million times, and then me attacking one enemy, and then the other enemy getting me anyway, and it can sometimes be a not fun time. Oh, nothing over there. Makes you think there'd be something over there, because there's an over there to be had. What sucks about this is that when you go down here, you can't go back up and then around to the other side. You have to go down and then back up the sparkly doos and then go this way. It's the only way to do it, unfortunately. Would have been nice to be able to go back the other way rather than go down and then back up, you know. It's a lot to do, you know. That's it, we're done. Piece of cake. Moving on to the next thing to be done. Stone Hill. Oh, geez, Louise, bro. Already taking damage from like the first enemy that can actually deal damage. I feel like a noob. Sparks is blue, and I'm sad. So the main reason I wanted to play Spyro 1, right, was because I haven't played it in a while. I'm gonna be honest. It's been a while since Spyro 1. I've played Spyro 3 and Spyro 2 a lot, like a lot, and I've completed them a lot. But Spyro 1, not quite as much. And with the recent release of the remastered trailer, I wasn't quite able to recognize the levels that were shown off in the trailer. So this is me kind of going back through the first game so that when I play the remaster, I'll kind of go, oh yeah, this looks a lot better now, you know? Like I can generalize the game and go, oh yeah, obviously that looks better, but like I can go, oh yeah, that's where this thing was, and oh yeah, oh yeah, I remember that, and oh that part was really hard, and it's probably still gonna be hard in the remaster, but I feel like a good refresher of the original game is necessary here. I'm not trying to shit on the original voice actor, but I always forget his name, but he's the guy who does the voice of Rocco in Rocco's Modern Life. and he's a fine voice actor, but Tom Kenny just does such a better job of Spyro, at least in these 3 games. Because, like, I also really like Elijah Wood as Spyro in The Legend of Spyro. It's a great voice. For that character of Spyro, that personality works really well with the story in that game. But with these 3 original games, I think Tom Kenny really does a good job. Way better than whoever this guy is. Oh, I can hear the egg thief. The classic snickering laugh of an egg thief. One of the bigger downsides to this game is that you can't move the camera with the analog stick.
How about a hint on gliding?
So one thing I really wanted to talk about, right, is in Spyro 2 and Spyro 3, at the end of a glide, you can press triangle to do a quick hover and then get a little bit of extra height at the end of a jump, right? Now, you can't do this in Spyro 1. Instead, pressing triangle will just drop you to the ground, right? And it makes some of the glides really hard to do. But every glide in this game is possible, and I like that. I like that it's hard. And I think... Now, this is what some people have been suggesting, is that they should add the hover to Spyro 1. But in this case, I think they should keep true to the original and not have it added in. They might not. I'm not sure really which way they would go on that. They might try to, like, keep all the games uniform with the same controls, but who knows? Personally, I would say don't add the hover in to Spyro 1. I don't think it's necessary. It would make the game easier, but I kind of like that Spyro 1 is harder. I would say it's the hardest game in the series. Why does it always come down to 4 gems? Oh, I'll find them. They're around here somewhere. It's just 4 little gems, that's all I'm asking for. I gotta say, I was slightly underwhelmed by the announcement trailer, and I don't know if it was just because I'm kind of holding my breath, because we haven't really seen that much yet. The style, I don't hate it. It's great, it looks amazing. But it's a little bit too cartoony for my taste. Just some of the character models, really. It's not a huge complaint. I'm not saying it ruins it at all, but it's not the way I would go with it. But it's fine. Oh, look, there we go. Okay. Down to 2 gems left. It's always slightly frustrating when you have to spend more than a couple minutes searching for the last gems in a level. And I already said we're 100% in this shiznit, so buckle in. I don't think I missed anything in here, but you never know. But now we do. Now we know that I didn't miss anything in there. And where the fuck is the gem at? Don't be shy now. Is that it? Is that actually the thing that I'm missing up there? How did I miss that? Is that a chest? Yeah, how in the hell did I actually miss this? Jeebus, criminy, jib jabbity flib flabs. See, some of the control things in Spyro 1 are they're just not quite as smooth as they are in the later games, like going from a charge to a jump. Like you don't get nearly as much height, and like if you're trying to jump off of a platform while charging, it's not quite as smooth. You're more likely to screw up the jump rather than make it farther. Dark Hollow is always a great level to play. It's really small, it's short, but it feels, just the atmosphere is really nice. There's something relaxing about this level, and I've always liked that. Something I hope that they'll do a good job with in the remake is, hopefully they will do a good job of making a variety of dragons. Now, they don't have to be like completely different, because I realize that it takes a while to create the models for the dragons, especially now making them in the resolution that it's gonna be in, and the Unreal Engine and all that other fun, interesting, nerdy stuff that I could say. Like, they could take like similar models and just tweak certain things, maybe even give like different accessories to certain dragons, have them say more. Like, these first like few dragons in the Artisan homeworld tend to say tutorial type stuff, and they have actual interesting things to say, but everything after Artisans tends to just say, "Thank you for releasing me," and it gets old really quick. So what I'm asking for here is just add some jokes in, you know, just say something about the level that's more interesting than "Thank you for releasing me," you know? That's all I want. Just a little bit of variety here and there to keep things fresh and not, you know, annoying and repetitive. It took me a really long time as a kid to figure out that you had to wait for those guys to turn around before you could attack them. I wasn't a very smart kid, but I managed to beat all the Spyro games. It just took me a really long time. Like, I think I first got Spyro 3 when I was 4. I don't think I fully beat it like 117% until I was 12 or 13 even. 12 or 13. One thing I always liked about Spyro 1 that you have to do in Spyro 2 and 3 is there's no backtracking in Spyro 1, which I kind of like in a game, because backtracking isn't something I really like to do. I like to go into a level and get all the stuff that I possibly can and not really have to come back to it. I mean, I get that like coming back to certain levels can feel good, because it's like, oh yes, I finally got that thing that I need to go back and do this. But I don't know, I really like the idea of just completing one level and then moving on to the next and not having to go back. I'm not saying that backtracking is awful and it should never be done in a game, just that I kind of like that about Spyro 1. I'm not saying I dislike it in the other two games, just that I kind of like that it's very straightforward in that sense. I think Town Square is easily my favorite world in the Artisans' homeland. It feels very different from the other levels. Stonehill just isn't quite, I don't know. It doesn't feel different enough from the homeworld to like, to be memorable. It's always been kind of boring to me, that's all. You know, I always kind of liked these little things in Spyro 1 that they didn't continue into Spyro 2 or 3. I don't know why I like them. Like, it's just a little bit of a trickier thing that you gotta do to get the gem out of the box. Like, you gotta flame it and then jump and grab it while it's in the air. Like, I'm not sure what I was about to say, but I started saying it anyway. I think the thing I like most about this world is that it's very stylized.
Spyro, did you see a man dressed in blue running around here?
I think that's one of my favorite dragon interactions right there. Like, he kind of introduces the whole egg thief idea. I remember when I first played Spyro, it took me like a long time to figure out that you could glide like around the side of that thing and then get up here.
Thank you for releasing me.
See, that's clearly, that model's been used. I think that's the third dragon we've seen that looked like that, and now they've gotten down to the point of just having them say,
"Thank you for releasing me."
Forgot how fast they are. Especially in Spyro 1. I think the egg thieves in, I don't know if there are egg thieves in Spyro 2. There might be egg thieves in Spyro 2, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But in Spyro 3, they're a lot easier than they are in Spyro 1. They're not quite as fast. Like, there's even, like, the thieves you gotta fight on, like, the charge pads, and, like, they get supersonic speed, and you get supersonic speed, so, like, you're running pretty much as fast, or a little bit faster than they are, but, you know, you gotta control Spyro. You might actually be running, I think, equally as fast. You just gotta figure out how to cut corners enough on the tracks to catch up to them. We got one level left. Well, technically we have a level and a speedway to do still. Not a huge fan of the speedways in Spyro 1. So this was one of the worlds that they showed off in the actual trailer for the Spyro remaster. And I gotta say, it looked really good. Like, again, with the character models, they're a bit stylized and cartoony, but, you know, I'm not... Just because that's not my preference, I still think it looks really good, and, you know, that's the way they're taking it, but that's fine. I'm not really criticizing it, I'm just saying that it's not really my personal taste, but I think once I see stuff from Spyro 2 and really Spyro 3, like once we get to see Sheila and Sergeant Bird and Bentley and Agent 9, like, that's really gonna hype me up. Even just seeing Hunter, the Professor, and Alora, like, that's gonna be really awesome. And, like, seeing, like, I'm sure, you know, once they show Spyro 2, the first thing you're gonna see is Glimmer, because that world is so iconic in Spyro 2. And Ripto as well. Going back, I mentioned the voice actors earlier, Tom Kenny and mainly. I'm really excited. Like, I'm so happy that they got Tom Kenny back to do the voice of Spyro. That I was actually, like, really worried that they might not. And honestly, it would have been such a mistake not to. I would have been so upset if they hadn't. Like, I would have complained, because really, the people who are making the Spyro remake, right, is Toys for Bob, and they're the same people that made the majority of the Skylanders games. And I'll continue as soon as this guy is done telling me about Toasty.
Nasty Nork has put one of his most devious henchmen in charge of the artisan world.
What was I saying? Tom Kenny, they got him back. Yeah, he actually did a voice for one of the characters in Skylanders. So, like, it's not like they haven't gotten him before. So if they didn't get him back, I would have been pretty upset. Oh, shoot. So now that, like, I'm getting a chance to really look at Toasty, the evil sheep, I never noticed how, like, he kind of has angry eyes. Like, if you look at him in the trailer, they've really exaggerated a lot of his features. And I think now that I'm looking at the original... Shit! Well, that's a death. Now that I'm looking at the original model, I can see it makes a lot more sense how exaggerated they have him in the remaster. I guess I've never really looked that closely at the model. It's kind of insulting in a way that I was killed by a sheep in Spyro. I really like that about this first boss. It's not too hard. Like, I would say the majority of people who play through Spyro 1 will die at least once on Toasty. Not just the level, but fighting the boss right there at the end. So that's all the main worlds in Artisans lands, except we still have to do the you know, this thing. The Speedway. That's what it's called. I remembered what the name was. You always gotta remember what the best route to take is. right? So this might take me a couple tries, but I'm hoping I should be able to get it done in one go. I think the speedways in Spyro 1 are a lot harder than they are in the sequels. In the sequels, the speedways are a lot more... They're organized in a way that it's obvious what order you should do them in. There's probably like other ways you could do it in those games that might be a little bit faster, but like it's presented in a way to say like, hey, if you do this in this order, you're definitely gonna pass the level easily. I think my favorite speedway in Spyro 3, or probably in all the Spyro games, it's the speedway that's in Midday Gardens. It's actually, I'm not sure which, I don't know what it's called, but it's like got a little bit of like an evening sort of mood to it, and there's pigs on tractors, and then there's like a thing you do with Hunter where you shoot down like aliens that are abducting people. But it's probably the best speedway that I think in all three Spyro games. There's probably another one that I'm forgetting that's maybe better, but that one sticks out to me. Alright, that's all the Artisans world. So now we're gonna go see the balloonist and go off to shoot, what's it called? Can't think of it. Can't think of the name. Go Peacekeepers. That's it. This video